If you saw my last video, you know that one of my goals for this year is actually to read more. And so today I'm bringing you a book review. Yay! I'm gonna start doing these, so please do tell me if you like them. Today we're gonna be discussing this book, Beautiful Fools by Clifton Spargo. And since I've been having a drink in all my videos lately, I'm actually thinking about making that a thing, by the way. At first, we're gonna start by making drinks. So we will not only be learning about this book, but we will also be learning how to make a cocktail. Wow, informative! Beautiful Fools is a story about Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald on their last trip together, where they embark on a journey to Cuba. While they are there, they do not seem to do very much except reminiscence about how good and how bad things used to be, and then a few unfortunate events occur in between. The book talks about their individual and collective problems, as well as some Spanish-American War issues, and it also mentions some fascism and some mental health, which I think is very interesting. The couple frequently visits Cuban bars while they are there, and they drink a lot of Cuban cocktails at the time, and so I wanted to utilize that, I wanted to use that, and we're gonna make a Cuba Libre. After that, we can get cozy, snuggle up, and talk about this book together. So a Cuba Libre is basically like a rum and coke, but you put lime in it. Apparently, as one website mentioned to me, it is less about the ingredients and more about the way you make the drink. So first we shall fill a glass with ice. I only have these big heart-shaped ice cubes that will barely fit in my glass, but I will put one. It's rather lonely, but you can put as many as you want. Do some crushed ice, put it in there. More is better, I think, in this situation. After that, we will take 2 lime wedges and squeeze them onto our ice. And apparently this, according to Jamie Oliver, so I'm probably telling the truth, makes all the difference. And then we add the lime into the glass like this, and this is where we pour our rum and the Coca-Cola, and we are finished. The Cuba Libre was actually invented during the Spanish-American War, and it means free Cuba. And we're gonna try it out now. That is actually really delicious. I think I like it more than just like rum and coke, because it's rather, I don't know, I like the lime. Now that we have our drinks, let's discuss the book. Actually, I picked this book up in Italy as I was there on a trip, and I found it in the non-fiction section, which led me to believe that this was supposed to be some sort of biography or something. I didn't actually read the back side of the book that well, but I thought that this book was going to be more factual than it was. But when I started reading it, I realized that it's actually historical fiction, which means that there's a lot of historical facts. They were probably there and everything, and he's been very attentive to all the details, but all of the blanks are basically made up. So it's a fiction book, I would say, because we can't exactly know what they were thinking and doing during this trip at all. What made me interested in this book in the first place was Scott. I've read The Great Gatsby and another few books of his, and I just think he's a great author. And also I saw the Midnight in Paris film with Woody Allen, and the couple is in there for a short period of time, and I got a little bit interested in what their relationship was like, so that's mainly why I picked this up. Sadly, I do not feel like this was a book for new learners about this couple. I felt like I didn't know enough about Zelda and Scott to appreciate it, and I constantly found myself like going away doing something more fun or putting the book away to read something else, which is actually not a very good sign. One thing I did really enjoy though was the language. I think that the author uses really pretty and descriptive and nice language, and I'm actually going to give you an example of this. She smiled at him, and again he held the chicken to her mouth so she might take another bite. And she was like a wonderful, stupendously naked and sexy child, but also his own 38-year-old wife with a long history of reinventing herself, again preparing to become brand new, someone trusting and ready to hope. She laughed that exultant, devilish laughter of hers, so different from the laugh she put on in public when trying to imitate the happiness of others. No, this laugh was truly her own, the kind that couldn't be faked. I just think that the language in this book is really, really nice, and reading it just yeah, it made me happy inside. And sometimes I just had to pause myself and read certain sentences aloud because I just found the language so pretty. With that being said, I only gave it a 3 stars at Goodreads. Because I found the language so beautiful, I gave it 3 stars. Otherwise, I think it would have been a 2, mainly because not a lot happened in the book and I felt as if I didn't know enough about the characters. So, if you clicked onto this video thinking about reading Beautiful Fools and you have an intense love for the Fitzgeralds and you actually know a few things or a lot of things about them, I think you might actually like this book. The reason why I didn't like it is because I feel like you have to have a pre-knowledge. But if you combine the language and you combine the pre-knowledge of like Zelda and Scott and their relationship as well as like the pre-knowledge of the historical context that they're in, then I think that this might actually be a 5-star for you. I went into Goodreads and I could see that some people liked it, some people didn't, and the people that liked it usually knew a lot about Scott and Zelda from the beginning. And this is actually an imagination of what the Fitzgeralds' last trip together was. We don't really know a lot about this trip, so if you're like really interested in them, then I totally understand how beautiful it would be to feel someone acting out their last trip together, see that last interaction. So one of my interests as I picked up the book was actually in Scott. It did inspire me somewhat because I learned more about Zelda and I started researching her online, and I actually looked on Wikipedia, I believe, where it said that she is or has become a feminist icon. And to be quite honest, I am a feminist, but I'm not a very well-read feminist, and I'm trying to change that this year, so I'm actually going to start reading more about her because I find her very inspiring. I'm also really interested in mental illnesses, which is something this book deals with because Zelda suffered from them. And I am interested in the way that mental illness was treated back in the day, but also nowadays, and I would like to read about that as well. So this book inspired me to read about 2 new subjects that I did not think I would be very interested in. So I guess we should summarize this up a little bit. I'm going to conclude this book review. So yes, the book wasn't very fun for me, but I do think that if you have a little bit of pre-knowledge or if you know a little or a lot about these 2 figures, then you will probably like this book. You will. And it did spark an interest in me to learn more about Zelda and mental illnesses, which is really great. I do enjoy a book that will encourage me to read more. And also the Cuba Libre was really, really yummy. If you like this video and you are interested to hear more book reviews or more book talks about like any book in general, or if you have any books to recommend me, I'm actually hitting book 6 of the year, I think, so I'm doing really well so far. But if you have anything to recommend to me, then please comment down below. If you'd love to see more like this, I would definitely want to know. So don't forget to comment and to like and subscribe to my channel because that would make my day just gorgeous. I'll see you soon, bye!